ser joven, para ser fresco, para alargar la excusa de los sueños. Demasiado pronto para ser leyenda, recuerdo imborrable, arena y aguacero. Demasiado pequeño para ser planeta, montaña medina, país inventado. Demasiado grande para un solo cuerpo, ser de madera sería el remedio, alargada sombra en verano, ser brillante en invierno. Cuando me pierdo busco oroza. Cuando me pierdo miro mis pies caminando paredes, buscando un cielo sin techo que se caiga. Me enfadan los otoños calurosos que no respetan la llegada de la noche. De la oscuridad se sale, de la luz no he conocido a nadie. Mi madre habla en gallego cuando se enfada, yo solamente en América, solo cuando la distancia me deja. La lengua está escondida y sale a pasear en auroras extranjeras que migran al Golfo. A veces, las raíces son tan fuertes que no dejan crecer el árbol. Las ramas están cargadas de poesía y sigo esperando el rayo que las parte. Afortunadamente no tienen ojos los corazones. La tierra está llena de sangre y seguimos preguntando por el duende. Alguien lo vio caminando deprisa por la calle 14 en el centro de Manhattan. Iba envuelto en un haz de sombreros que habían sido traídos por el viento. Le seguía un caballo manso. Fui demasiado feliz en Grecia para reparar en musas. Solo vi un ancla salir del mar y regresé a la orilla frontera natural donde todo comienza. Vi cuerpos flotando en la pereza astral y cabezas enterradas en azufre. El horizonte no prometía nada, si acaso falanges perpendiculares que se elevaban como salmos corpóreos. Sé de mi vientre que las manos de un dios no son más grandes que las mías. Sé de mi vientre que nada cambiará en la mañana. Que la vida que llevamos es solo un préstamo y alguien habrá de pagarlo. Que las iguanas dormidas despertarán y no harán falta juicios ni jurados. Confío en que el olor y la música sean más fuertes que el Alzheimer. Mi tía en la residencia echaba de menos a su madre y en su última mirada vio un niño de 2 años que montaba un triciclo amarillo. Olía a hierba Luis en el camino. Alguien gritaba mi nombre y desde la ventana de una casa construida con dinero enviado en sobres desde el otro lado del océano. Nunca decía hola ni adiós, pero mi abuela Ramona bajaba las escaleras riendo y yo sentía que nada malo podría pasarme. Que aquello no era mío, pero era de donde yo venía. Que yo no sería aquello, pero nadie nunca nada podría quitármelo. Sería, será, es la fuerza. El dolor es un buen maestro, de los mejores. El placer se olvida rápido, solo se disfruta realmente cuando se anhela. Así está, así el estallido, así la muerte, que llegue en tromba y no deje huella ni rastro, que nadie la nombre, pues su peso es el de Jim Atlas con hombros en llamas. La vida es lo que tomo. ¿Qué quieres? La vida lenta y profunda de un poeta desnudo. ¿Qué tomas? El conocimiento que quieran darme, la mano, el abrazo, estar juntos con los labios pegados y la mano en alto, saludando o despidiendo, despacio, sintiendo, viendo pasar el tiempo. Mi hermana al piano, fuerte aplauso. Mi hermana, venga. Ok, this is huge, this is awesome, this is great, esto es increíble, esto es Se Buscan Poetas, esto es el Festival Kerouac, Nueva York, el centro del mundo latino. Okay, this is poetry, okay, this is poesía, y esto no te hará rico así, no te hará rico así, poetry, no te hará rico así, poetry, no te hará rico así, poetry, no te hará rico así. No te hará rico así. No te hará rico así, but we love it. But we love it. But we are crazy people. We are mad people. We are sick people. We are okay because we love poetry. But okay, we love poetry, but you know, we love poets. Okay, we love poetry. Yeah, poetry is absolute. Poetry is huge. Poetry es increíble. Una pasada, super guay, mola la hostia. But okay, we love poets. We love. Because, okay, poetry, yes, poetry, but we love poets, and poets are in every word of poetry. I want that you put your hands together. Quiero un fuerte aplauso para la persona que diseñó este increíble cartel que es Vanessa. ¿Dónde está ahí? ¿Dónde está Vanessa? Gracias, mi amigo. Sí, estamos aquí empezando. This is okay. This is only the beginning. Only the beginning. Solo estamos empezando. Okay, I can feel it. You can feel it. The duende is, okay, the duende is walking on the 14th Street and is coming here because we are in the temple of the poetry of the world, because we are in the Bowery poetry. Okay, otra vez. Bowery poetry. Bowery poetry. Yeah, the duende is coming and the duende is going inside you. The duende is growing inside you. El duende está creciendo dentro de ti. No creo en las musas. No creo en las musas. Creo en el duende. I believe in duende. And duende have the answer. Duende está creciendo dentro de ti. This is only the beginning. Estamos empezando el Festival Kerouac Nueva York, que empieza hoy aquí en el Bowery Poetry Club con Mercy Turis Bucari y Abril Uribe, que vamos a subir al escenario. ¡Fuerte aplauso! Uribe, that is awesome, periodist, poet, writer, es una increíble poeta, periodista, escritora, poderosa, mujer, feminista, luchando for the right of the women, y también usando la lengua mapuche en usando la lengua mapuche en sus poesías. Diversidad. We want diversity. Diversidad. Queremos diversidad y la vamos a tener. This is only the beginning, and we start the Kerouac Festival 2022 with Abril Uribe here.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Better. What? Want you what? What? Like this? Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So, hi everyone, how are you? My name is Abril Uribe, or Abril, if you prefer to roll your R's that way. And yeah, I am a writer, I'm a poet, I'm a performer, I'm a singer, I'm a publisher, I'm a scene maker, I'm a human. And tonight I want to share with you two different pieces. I'm going to read a poem I wrote and that is published in one of the zines I made, and then I'm gonna sing a song for you guys. Okay, so first, as I was saying, I made zines. Do you know what a zine is?
Yeah.
Sí.
Okay, what is a zine?
So like a little book that you make.
Yeah, I have some here, exactly. So a zine is like do-it-yourself publication, and I have a project of scenes. It's called Editorial Negra. Please follow me on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, and I promise to follow you back. Follow me and I'll follow you. And yeah, we make scenes. I make scenes. And the first scene I made is called Things I Think When I Smoke Weed, because I'm such a pothead. Y en español se llama Cosas que pienso mientras fumo marihuana. Y lo particular de este poemario es que son centones. El centón es una técnica de la tradición de la poesía hispana en la cual se recolectan diversos versos de diversa procedencia y se colocan juntos, se ponen juntos para componer un poema, como un collage. So, in this zine, what I did was I collected different tweets from my Twitter, from my personal Twitter, and los puse juntos, y esto es lo que salió. So the first poem I'm going to read for you is, se llama In Love, Out of Love, Repeat. And it goes like this. My sexual orientation is desire. You speak so beautifully that I want to write down everything you say. Come, it doesn't matter for how long. If I write to you, it's because I love you. I love you because with you, I am not afraid to be myself. I would like you to like what I like. In the future, you're always there. I'm going to hurt you, but in the meantime, let's have a blast. Being loved by someone good makes me think that I am not that bad. The balance between loving yourself and loving another. Monosyllabic level distance. We wanted to be happy, but we only got to be. This pain bears your name. I'm forgetting you, but I think of you as I forget. Gracias. Y en español, cada uno de estos versos fue escrito pensando en personas diferentes, pero en conjunto hacen un cuerpo. Amor, desamor, repeat. Mi orientación sexual es el deseo. Hablas tan bonito que quiero escribir todo lo que dices. Ven, no importa lo que dure. Si te escribo es porque te quiero. Te quiero porque contigo no tengo miedo de ser yo. Me gustaría que te gustaran las cosas que me gustan. En el futuro siempre estás tú. Te voy a hacer daño, pero por mientras pasémoslo la raja. Que me quiera una persona que encuentro buena me hace pensar que no soy tan mala. El equilibrio entre querer ser una y querer al otro. Distancia a nivel monosílabos. Queríamos ser felices, pero solo logramos ser. Esta pena tiene tu nombre. Te estoy olvidando, pero pienso en ti mientras te olvido. Thank you. It was written originally in Spanish, and then my beloved friend Alison Braden, she translated it into English. So if you want a copy of the zine, just come to me, talk to me, and I can give you one. Okay, I'm gonna be seated right there. And for the next piece, I need your help. Okay, because this is a song, but I'm not carrying any instrument, right? So I need your help, people. So the first thing is, please, can you snap your fingers with me, like following this rhythm, like. Okay, you got it. And also, I need some water for this. And also, I'm gonna do this. Ay, 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 ay. And when I do that, you're going to respond doing ay, ay, ay. So let's practice. I go ay, 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 and you ay, ay, ay. Again ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, once more. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Escribo en sala de espera de mis días hospitalizada. La ventana da un verde, blanca la camilla y las murallas. Vino a casa el tío que odio, pero él dice que me ama. Me da tanto miedo verlo que me escondo bajo la cama. Duermo en lo oscuro por horas. El pecho en baldos helada. Despierto y respirar duele. En las costillas siento lanza. Mi madre me lleva urgencia. Tengo los pulmones con agua. Neumonía, dice el doctor. Esa noche no vuelvo a casa. Soy niña de 6 años. Mi pieza es la última helada. En la escuela por mí rezan. Llevo aquí sola una semana. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Mi padre trae sus cómics, dice salen, no se rayan, imita mono en la tele, nos reímos y me abraza, en secreto me da papita, tengo... I'm sorry, I'm nervous. So, please go ahead. Mi padre trae sus cómics, dice salen, no se rayan, imita mono a la tele, nos reímos y me abraza, en secreto me da papita, me prohíben con mi ensalada, me alimentan peras hervidas, arroz, fideos, saben a nada, una tarde por fuera, sonriendo, veo a mi hermana, no entra por los contagios, nos queremos por la ventana, otra tarde en mi velador, encuentro cuentos de hadas, los leo porque leer siempre a mí me acompaña. Ay, 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 yo. Ay, can you do it with me? Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Una noche mi madre llora, sentada al lado de mi cama, le pido que se quede, dice no, y la lloro mamá, por el pasillo, la enfermera se acerca y me calma, me dice al oído, tranquilita, ya estará sana, ay, 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 ay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that song is called Canción del Hospital, the song of the hospital, I guess. And it's about when I was 6 years old and I had pneumonia and I was in the hospital and I felt really alone and I was so bored. But fortunately, my mom and my dad and my sister came to visit me, and yeah, and I recovered, and now I'm here. So thank you so much. Thank you for your help, and yeah, enjoy the night. Okay.
El futuro es una rama cargada de poesía. Yo pensé que se había ido, pero la ciudad estaba esperando. Con gente sin alma, pero de hermosos peinados. Con gente que no serán gente hasta que te miren y tú los mires y comprendas que solo existís en esa mirada, y esa mirada fue suficiente para saberos vivos. La ciudad estaba esperando, con los raíles intactos, con las llaves puestas y el motor preparado, con humo blanco saliendo de la iglesia de San Marx, con una flor creciendo en el segundo peldaño, con el deseo contenido en haces de estrellas que mueren para dejar sitio a otras estrellas, que mueren solo para que sepas que hasta las estrellas mueren, solo para que sepas que seguirán viendo tu luz desde el pasado. Miríadas de palabras se adhieren torpemente a mi cuerpo mojado, empapado en un discurso que se oye lejano. Una persona que no conozco emite sonidos que salen de mis labios. Quiero salir de mi cuerpo y decirle que se vaya de mi cuerpo, pero entonces seré yo el que se habrá ido y no quedará nadie a quien decirle nada. Nada a quien decirle nadie. Nadie se atrevió a decirme que estaba corriendo por el camino equivocado. Nadie. Todos y todas lo vieron. Me estaban observando. Llegué a la cima, pero no había nadie a mi lado. Dylan, Maná, Andiano. No, without Dylan. Okay, the Kerouac Festival, this is this sixth edition, no, la edición del sexo no, es la sexta edición en Nueva York, llevamos ya increíbles 6 años en Nueva York, 6 years in New York, llevamos 3 years in Mexico City and 11 years in Vigo. This festival started in Vigo 11 years ago. I'm not so old. I swear you, te juro que no soy tan viejo, ¿vale? Me preguntaban ayer en una radio, me decían, ¿y esto del Festival Kerouac qué es? ¿Por qué lo empezasteis? ¿A dónde va todo esto? Bueno, estas palabras que te hacen cuando te entrevistas de prensa y que en el fondo es genial porque te sirven para reflexionar un poco sobre lo que haces, ¿no? Quizás y sobre todo en esta ciudad, en el City of New York, vamos como muy a mucha velocidad, ¿no? Vamos so fast. Es una cinética muy rápida la que tenemos aquí. Muchas veces no tienes ni la oportunidad de pararte a pensar por qué haces las cosas, ¿no? Simplemente, y los que vivimos aquí en Nueva York lo sabemos, dedicas toda tu fuerza y toda tu energía simplemente go forward, ¿no? Seguir hacia adelante, seguir fighting for your dreams, fighting for your goal. Eso es lo que nos ha traído, porque esta es una ciudad de dreamers, ¿verdad? Como en todo Estados Unidos, pero sobre todo es una ciudad de fighters. Ok, Mercy ya lo ha dicho antes que yo, se ha adelantado. Ahora venía el rollete que voy a soltar, el blog, venía ahora de este puente. Esto es un puente. Este festival, this festival started like a show of poetry, like a show of poetry and music and performance. It's okay, but now it's a bridge. It's a bridge between Europe and America. It's a bridge over the Atlantic Ocean. And it's a bridge that every year cross poets and musicians from Europe to New York, to Mexico, but also from Europe, from Mexico to Europe, communicate excellence, comunicando escenas, países, continentes, borrando fronteras. Tenemos ese sueño, queremos comunicar el mundo y queremos llenar el mundo de poesía. Y por eso somos ¡Poeticas! Otra vez. Ahora todos. Y por eso somos ¡Poeticas! going to share. You have the book of the Poetry Fighters, and please buy the book because it's so weight and I don't want to carry to home back. Okay, entonces, por favor, compra el libro porque pesa un montón y no me lo quiero llevar otra vez a casa. Es una antología de 40 poetas, es maravilloso, de verdad, os lo recomiendo comprarlo. Ok, un poco de spam, estupendo. Y todo esto venía a que ese puente lo han cruzado en esta edición más poetas que nunca, porque están aquí poetas que han venido, que luego van a subir aquí al Open Mic, no voy a decir aún sus nombres, luego los diremos, pero es una poeta que está aquí en la escena peleando, es en la escena neoyorquina, es una Poetry Fighters, el domingo estuvimos en el Bronx, was at the Bronx, playing with voces and abril, was awesome, y ahora está aquí con nosotros y ella es poderosa, ella es teacher, ella es madre, ella es garifuna descendente, ella es afrolatina, afrocaribeña y sobre todo tiene una luz tremenda dentro de ella que os la voy a mostrar ahora porque es Mercy Turis Bucari.
I saw Celia perform at SOBs with my lover one night. Heard La Habanera sing praises to palm leaves waving whispers of a lost homeland, of love, negritos, bambones being killed, to carnivals of life, of salacious black girls going inof tumbao to make men. I listened to Celia's songs, knowing its familiarity but not its words, but still telling my lover, yeah, Abuelita used to play that song. Y mi abuelita told me her cipota stories of hearing her neighbors say, bueno, Celia está en el pueblo performing, tenemos que ir. In this West Village nightclub, sorry. Oh, thank you. In this West Village nightclub, overflowed with energy, sucking in other cipotes from abuelitas who had Celia LP stacked next to the record player, right under the Devil Jesucristo. Lifting and showing, suavecito con sabrosura. I held on to my lover, smiling for Celia's voice, emanating high notes without any pain, louder than the band that rocked, that needed her to stay with her tempo. I reveled in her trip of Latinaness, of giving position to Spanish-speaking Africans in the world of limbo-forced ethnic foxes. I teared. Porque Cuba really was freeing itself from this smoke-filled, small venue as she waved her regal, colored dress, trimmed with glittering studs, and finessed the waist spreading and shining like the sunflower blossoming towards the sun. My lover and I talked about azúcar! With mixed streams of Cuban fantasies trapped in rock glasses of coke, lima, y ron. And of Latinos dismissing the non-Castellanos. And of women who can still rock a fucking crowd after generations of abuelitas and cipotes.
Cipotes.
Cipotes. Are you Central American? Who said that? Centroamericano, because that's a Central American slang word for children. Cipotes. He held on to me because Cuba was freeing itself from my Honduran Jamaican existence as I sang. Hoy, no hay que llorar, que la vida es un carnaval, es más bello vivir cantando. And I called Abuelita in her home, aware of the hour difference, y le dije, mira, Abuelita, vi la reina. Abuelita, vi la reina. Thank you. Fucking hot.
You have to my show,
So, Prince's death anniversary just passed. And so I decided to include a poem because I'm a huge Prince fan. And this poem was published in an Prince tribute anthology. The year he died, so I figured why not include it today? Masturbation with Dad magazine. Pero que sí. Taint her body with regal water, engage in a kiss because that kiss will slow this little red Corvette down. You know you are insatiable to her. Keep her body in your dirty little cage. Die for her? Call, beg, call her name because she knows she can be nasty with you. She will touch it so that it could explode. She will be whatever you want her to be. It will be forever you. I truly adore her with that spiritual sexuality journey until the end of time. Are these tears from her or from the angels above? You are filthy cute, a beautiful one. You're a sexy motherfucker. So come back to her, Messiah. Bring her flowers back to life. Come back to her, you, always the beautiful one. During quarantine, my children and I have 2 children, and they were asking a lot of questions about George Floyd, and so it was a very difficult conversation to have with them. My son turned 12 this past December, my daughter is 10, and so they asked, hey, let's watch. We want to see a video of this, because they could not believe and understand why an innocent black man was killed at the hands of police officers, because police officers are there to protect and serve, right? This is what we have all been taught, right? So they wanted to know, they wanted to see for themselves what this was about. And of course, as a mom, like, I didn't see because I thought it'd be very traumatizing for me, and I'm, a woman of a certain age. But I'm like, you know what? We're all going to watch this, and we'll have a discussion about this. And the New York Times had a great video of many different videos put together from different cameras, phone cameras, and also security cameras with timestamps on it. So that's the video we watched, and so this is a poetry. This is a poem about. I always get a little anxious talking about that experience. So this is a poem about that experience, watching that video with my children. Black children swaddled. My children asked, why was a man under the knee of another man? They asked, why did she die by the bullet while asleep on her bed? When they ask these questions, I hear, why do they revel in the disempowerment of our bodies? I hear, why are our bodies still under the treatment of human chattel and plantations protected by their red, white, and blue? I myself still question, why are our lives at the mercy of those who still feel threatened by us with no effort by us to attract any attention of death? I follow the Bible of parenting, teach my children to be law-abiding citizens, to follow societal rules of saying thank you and good morning, to say yes, but not yeah. to reference the person they are talking to by their title, to hold the door for whomever is walking behind them, to treat each person the way they would want to be treated. I don't know what to say. When a knee becomes a place of death and not of prayer. When a bullet pierces through the peaceful state of a woman in her home and not the evil uncertainty of an intruder. I'd rather keep feeding my children with picket fences, the promise of a dog, the expectation of a 3-bedroom house with an attic, a basement, a backyard, and the hopes of bicycling in friendly streets among trusting neighbors than to answer their questions. I'd rather silence them with milk and cookies and ice cream. I'd rather calm my shakes and nerves with Hennessy, neat. My body, sliced open to bring my children forward, were checked for fingers, toes, and genitals. They were cleaned, then swaddled to recreate the comfort and security of my womb. How can I tell my children that? From the moment they were swaddled, they were being fooled into the fallacy of the world being built for them. That from the moment they were born, in the innocence of their cries, they have been labeled into a life already decided for them before they could have even decided for themselves. Their swaddle is not my womb, not their protection, not my amniotic fluid. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell them. Of a knee, a bullet, a chokehold, of rope, of fire. A man kneels to kill. A woman is killed in her sleep. When my children ask questions, I hear, why do they revel in the disempowerment of our bodies? I hear, why do they have this hate towards us? What did we do to them for them to want to kill us? I see. Whether we resist or not, that our lives are still vulnerable under the eyes of those who were sworn to protect us. I cannot be tired. I am so tired, but I can't be tired. But still, I don't know what to tell my children when they ask these questions. What's my time like? Good? One more, okay. So I'll bring the mood up. Roller skating with Jesus on the concourse. Hey. I read this on Sunday too. I roller skate on the concourse. Anyone from the BX here? Hey, BX all day! Yes. By the way, so I'm in a documentary called, the name of it keeps changing, but I'm this is bad, but it's essentially about, it starts with Barnes & Noble closing in the Bronx. There was a Barnes & Noble in Co-op City, and it was always packed. There were always people there. They were making money. So we were all confused as to why it closed. So this documentary goes into why this bookstore closed and the fact that there weren't any bookstores in the Bronx. There is one bookstore and there is another mobile bookstore that's run by one of my very good friends. And so I was interviewed for that, and I said a lot of great things. And in the trailer, all they have me saying is BX all day! Yeah! And I'm just like, really? So yeah. friend who was in the draw when he was a baby? Piano player. All right. So you can ask him about that later, but you have to buy him a drink if you ask him about that. I roller skate on the concourse past Art Deco buildings and bodegas. I see the strength of my legs. I use the strength of my legs to push me forward, the bend of my knees for momentum, the gaze towards the courthouse to keep my balance, yet I fall. No, I did not use any protective gear. I just rolled with the faith in myself. My knee, its skin scraped off, blood dripping, the scrape must have covered my whole knee. My brother tells me, good, you're learning. He kneels down and looks at the scrape. He walks me to an open hydrant and takes a handkerchief out of his back pocket to clean my knee. Yes, we use water from an open hydrant. This is the BX. No, I'm not sure where that handkerchief was before. We used it on my scrape. And no, we did not use Neosporin. He tells me, sit on the edge of the sidewalk. Next to his Sony boombox, of course, because it's the 80s, right? He increased the volume. His afro looked like a Jesus halo. Give me a ho, you got your funky bus fare, ho, ho, ho. The wheels grew from his feet, moonwalking, then spins, first on both feet, then on one leg, making undulations with unseen lines. He spins and spins, big bop, bam, alakazam, like a record after a strong scratch release. Crossing his legs with his body tilted on one side, then switching direction with his body tilted the other side, then he falls. Yes, he fell. Even the best of them have to fall, right? It was a pebble that made him fall, so it wasn't him, it was a pebble. He smiles at himself, looks at me with the same smile and tells me, we all have to fall sometime. But we learn when we get back up. He held his hand out for me to get up. I took his hand and we skated, my Jesus and me, on the concourse past Art Deco buildings towards the courthouse. Thank you so much.
Doblar en la esquina on the corner of Europe transatlánticamente en mi huida. Voy, alzando la vista, to the sky like an eagle. Pagué con creces lo que debía de ver y ahora sé cuál es mi precio. Gracias por eso. Voy. En el cuento que alguien escribió para mí, so much gratitude about that, but no soy capaz de creerme la realidad que conseguiste. Voy. El paso siempre en línea recta, not up on my fire. Parece ser que el espejo no fue lo suficientemente claro y alguien tendrá que decírmelo on my face. Voy. Y si esperas que coja las riendas de mi vida, es que no ves que estoy haciendo precisamente eso. Right away, with the one-earned feet, because llevaba mucho tiempo esperándolo. Iridescentemente aletargados, yo te maldigo en la enfermedad del manso. Tan culpable fue el lobo como el rebaño. Tan iluminados nos creímos que nadie recordó Turn Off the Light. La llave de la jaula es la propia jaula. Lo que nos protege nos encierra. Lo que nos educa nos aliena. Nos envenena lo que nos alimenta. Un estallido constante es la vida que llevamos. Nos enseñaron lo justo y suficiente para ser esclavos. Y ahora nos rebelamos. Y ahora nos rebelamos. Y ahora nos rebelamos. They taught the necessary for being a slave, and now we rebel. No nos da la gana de volver, no nos da la gana de seguir, no queremos ser más esclavos. De ser esclavos, vamos a subir aquí y vamos a recitar, y porque esto es el open mic del festival Kerouac. Se buscan poetas, se buscan poetas. We are looking for poets. Y si se buscan, y si se buscan,
¡Se encuentra!
y si se buscan,
¡Se encuentra!
Ok, gracias, un aplauso para vosotros. Os quiero a todos en el gol. Os quiero. Entonces, ¿dónde está mi libreta? Where's my notebook? Where's my notebook? Okay. Here is the next brave poets that's going to come to the stage of the temple of the poetry of New York in the open mic of the Kerouac Festival. Y vamos a empezar. Y voy a decir el nombre del primero y ella va a subir y va a recitar. Y ella es increíble y recita en inglés, en italiano, en lo que tú quieras. Y es un motor y una dinamo y mueve montañas y placas tectónicas porque ella es Clara Francesca.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. Let's give Marcos a big clap. So my name's Clara Francesca, and I've got 3 pieces I want to share with you today. One's a little longer, the other are tiny. I find myself often walking the streets of New York musing and having thoughts, so I thank you for giving me the space to put my consciousness together with these questions. The first piece is an ode to my family who feel very far away. You might notice an accent. And as Marcos mentioned, italiana.
Ciao,
Ciao, I'll need some audience poetry participation at the beginning. Yes. I'm going to invite all of you either to close your eyes through the poems and let your minds wander, or open them and imagine things wandering around me, augmented reality style. Maybe one day we can do that. But for now, at the very beginning of this piece, which is called Amore, I Love You, I'd like to invite you all to raise one of your hands. Just raise them with me. Yeah, let's practice. And as I move my hand, copy the action. Oh yeah, fantastic. Okay, we'll start here. Amore. I love you. This is a hand. Not everyone has two. This is a nose. Not everyone has one. But if you can, touch your hand to your heart. Touch your heart to your hand. Touch your hand to your arm. Touch your arm to your heart. Rinse and repeat. Touch and heal, heal and touch. Heal and desynchronize. Next, synchronize and heal. You're a spoiled brat. That's the gist of their message. We grew up poor, bankrupt, immigrants to be spat on in the street. We were treated worse than shit. And yet you want to talk about our inner racism? How dare you? How dare you? You don't know what it was like for us. We were forced to leave our land. Government control, government greed. We were forced to leave our home. Family disorientation, family pain. You don't know what it was like for us. We were forced to emigrate. We were forced to colonize. We were forced to be wogs. An Australian derogatory term for Italians, Greek, Turkish people, and friends. You grew up in a castle on the Bay of St. Kilda. You had Barbie dolls. You had private education. You had travel. You had dual citizenship. And yet you want to talk about our inner racism. You chose to leave. No one made you leave. You have a visa that was given to you because Australians joined the Americans in the war in Iraq. And yet you want to talk about our inner racism? You had an abusive marriage. You have scars. Leave us alone. You're scared. You don't get to confront us about our historical misogyny. You don't get to ask us about our inner racism. We assimilated for you and your brother, and yet you want to talk about this. Touch your skin. Love it. It is the only skin you will ever be in. Maybe that's why I worked so hard to change my accent. Seeing my dad hide his so that he wouldn't be beaten up in the street. Being told that I didn't sound right for the South. I didn't look right for the North. Too hasty for a Sicilian. Not blunt enough for an Aussie. With Grandma telling me not to speak Italian in front of her, and Nonna telling us that she refused to learn English. Is that the sum total? The sum total of us to survive in the spaces between nations, in the spaces between rooms. But Grandma and Nonna taught us how to grow veggies. My mum nourishing us with them every day. Jokes about tomatoes, lemons, figs, and parsley. Fruit and veggies are a thing before the hippies made it vogue and the neoliberals took over the globe. And Nonna and dead Nonna taught us fashion is art that we wear on our body. My Zio, even when he was broke, would teach us, love yourself enough to mend even the metaphorical holes in your stockings and the tears in your trousers. That song and dance are the ingredients of happiness. Canta che ti passa, that always says. That the ancient land holds love for all. That le carrozze colorate ti portano dovunque l'immaginazione ti ispira. Che la lingua ti cresce il cervello e che è bello morire dalle risate. Keep smiling, keep talking. Because I want to talk about inner racism and tribalism and the traumatized individuals thinking they get a pass to traumatize others. This is a hand.
Not everyone has two. This is a nose. Not everyone has one. But if you can, touch your hand to your heart. Touch your skin. Love it. It is the only skin we will ever be in. Thank you. Me and my conscientiousness. Oh gosh. All right, let's drop in. Poverty. I live in a very expensive hell. Sirens sing hysterical tunes by the second whilst fur coats float by the horse and carts. Fairy lights adorn the towers as garbage bags frame sculptured stores. The richest psychoanalysts in town look over our smaller versions of Skid Row. Poverty in packs inside bank lobbies and subway turnstiles make for unaligned, plundered homes. I live in the most expensive hell. If anyone wants to talk about housing situations, let me know. I want to be part of, I've got some friends that like getting together and we're working at some of the shelters, but yeah, let me know. I think people can maybe, have a, anyway, blah. Final piece. Hypocrite, please. Tick-tock, trash talk, tantalizing tease, long locks, light wash, licking lemon ease, blonde bite, bit bright, bring back to squeeze, white wish, deep kiss, wrapping up disease. Tick-tock, trash talk, tantalizing tease, long locks, light wash, licking lemon ease, blonde bite, bit bright, bringing back to squeeze, white wish, deep kiss, wrapped up in disease. Hypocrite, please.
And now our next guest poet, brave poet, nuestra siguiente brava poeta es Sumaya Hernández.
Hello. Hi. I'm Sumaya from Queens. I'm Dominican. Anybody? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna do a poem. Okay, so I think that my muse is Erato because I read about this one person and they were supposed to come and show up. But here it goes. This one's called Me and Your Mama by Childish Gambino. Hello. Antes de anoche, ¿qué viste en la foto? Yo te enseñé. En el retrato de mi cuerpo. Reimagine en la sombra contra la pared. I let you in. Because I want you in. Because I find myself without. Eres un espejo en cual no me veo, pero me reconozco. I come to you when I'm lost. I come to you when I've been taken. I come to you. I love you. Self in the mirror, who is me? And self in the mirror, who is him, reflecting pain. I wish I could wash away with every tear I cry for us.
Selfish. Ay, perdóname. Your heart can't be mended. I forgot. You can't take a picture of your soul like you can take a picture with your veins. There's no machine for this. No glue. No fix. ¿Quién dijo I want to fix you? Si cada noche I try to heal myself with the hope, you want the same thing too. I just want to keep letting you in. But do you want to come in too? Thank you.
Sumaya Hernández, gracias. Buenísimo. Vamos, entonces, ¿qué tal estáis? ¿Estáis bien? ¿Cogemos un poco de aire o qué? ¿Se da ahí al saco, no? ¿O qué? ¿Seguimos? Vamos, a tope. Venga, vamos, siguiente. Vamos, nuestro siguiente. Bravo, valiente, poeta, invitada en el Open Mic del Festival Kerouac. Es Patricia Martín Rivas.
Hola, hello everybody. Hello. I hope you're doing very well. I'm a writer and translator. I love playing with words. I'm gonna read a long thing in English, longish, and then two piccolini like Clara Francesca here.
Ah, los piccolini.
I published this book with stories based on untranslatable words. So there are words in every language who can't be translated into others, only by describing them. Voy a hablar en español, soy Patricia, traductora, escritora, me gusta jugar con las palabras. Tengo un libro sobre palabras intraducibles. Voy a leer la primera. Y esto, bueno, voy a aprovechar a que el día 1, este domingo, es el día del trabajo, de los trabajadores.
Yes.
No somos vosotros.
¡Ey, la poesía es trabajo!
Pero yo tengo condiciones de mierda en este país.
Eso.
Y aún así soy una privilegiada. Hay gente con condiciones de mierda de verdad. Y esto se lo dedico a la mujer que cuidó a mi abuela cuando yo era pequeña. Y a todas las mujeres que cuidan y que no reciben lo que se merecen. El título y la palabra intraducible es meraki, del griego. Significa entregarse con toda el alma a algo y hacerlo con pasión. Cuando jugábamos a los superhéroes en el recreo, siempre me pedía Spiderman, pero los fines de semana mi superheroína era la Juani. La Juani cuidaba de mi abuela con el corazón y le decía palabras dulces cuando la enferma anciana se quejaba, y le cambiaba los pañales sin torcer el gesto, y le pegaba un grito cuando se hacía necesario, y le cocinaba sus platos favoritos, y le limpiaba la babilla con esmero y tesón, y soportaba los efectos de las drogas que desarreglaban a mi abuela, y le acariciaba el arrugado rostro con los labios para despedirse. La Juani siempre nos recibía con una sonrisa de oreja a oreja y sonoros besos, como si no llevara horas y horas pendiente de la abuela y del reloj, ni hastiada y exhausta por las ancianas luchas, ni anhelante de la diminuta libertad que le otorgaban los relevos. Mercati. Gracias. Okay, I'm gonna switch to English here, switch the mood also. I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, which is only one question in reality that I will repeat over and over again. With this word that is pochemuchka from Russian, a person who asks too many questions. Has it ever occurred to you that you'll never be able to see your own face? Never. Never. Can you conceive of the length of never? You never realize you'll never see your face? Never? Never. Think about it. You'll only see your face in the mirror, in a photograph, in a video, or in the river, like Narcissus. Do you know that where you see it the most often, in the mirror, is reversed? That is, you'll never ever see your face, and the closest you'll get is a clumsy imitation, in real time, but reversed. Always reversed. You never thought that everyone else will see your true face? That is, you will never see your face, which after all is yours, but the whole world will. Doesn't it seem unjust, grave, even insulting? Has it ever struck you that nobody will ever see their own face, while your eyes can possess other faces, recognize their expressions and tics, their edged wrinkles, their beautiful imperfections, in some kind of reciprocal revenge? You are the only person who can fully see your inner being, and the only person who never will be able to see your full exterior. Really? Never? You've never thought of it? Never? These guys have never thought of it. Vale, la última va en español, la última picolina. Podéis cerrar los ojos si queréis, porque os voy a invitar a uno de mis lugares favoritos, que es el silencio, y es un poco, bueno, voy a leer así que no habrá silencio, pero bueno, cerrad los ojos. Este microcuento se llama Shh. Me regaló el silencio porque era mío, y me rogó, no lo vuelvas a perder. Lo había extraviado hacía lustros, pero ni siquiera me había dado cuenta, porque el tráfico, la algazara y la televisión me carcomían los adentros y todita yo era ruido. Ahora que lo he recuperado, no quiero salir jamás de mi bello sosiego, y deseo que solo lo rompan el crepitar de las patatas para la tortilla, el ronroneo de Enrique, la caricia candenciosa de mi propia respiración, el crujido de las ramas por el balanceo de la hamaca, la musicalidad al desvestir una mandarina, y el recuerdo de aquel momento en que la tortuga centenaria me devolvió el silencio bajo las aguas turquesas. Muchas gracias. Okay, I'm gonna say something else. I just finished a story of pandemic experiences around the world. I've been interviewing people around the world. I used to be a nomad. The pandemic stopped that. You can see my stories. You know, I called it El amor en los tiempos del coronavirus, love in the time of coronavirus. It's online, and I'm always looking for an editor for that or for whatever it is. So you're welcome to look me up, Patricia Martin Rivas, Patricia Martin Rivas.
Pues eso, Patricia Martin Rivas. Tremendo altavoz. Estamos aquí disfrutando
En el centro del mundo.
Ok, seguimos y vamos ahora, atención, con el primer hombre. Yo no cuento. Vale, segundo. No, primero. Vale, él es, un fuerte aplauso, pongan sus palmas, una colorada, pongan la mano aquí, la otra aquí, y así, para Matthew Walker.
I about died there, but that's okay, because sometimes it happens. New York, Pockets. Okay, cool. Nice. Es marroquín. Hola. Soy salvadoreño, okay. I'm a guanaco, so for the Central Americans in the house. Ya sabes. Sí, yo sabe cipote. Mi papá, he always went up to me after I was done eating, like if I like burped or anything like that. He was like, ¿estás haciendo cipote? I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm getting fat, like gordito. Pero me voy a leer un poema from my book. Guanaco, you know? I'm new here, by the way. I just moved here from Iowa, so you would never guess there's Salvadorians in Iowa. If you don't know where Iowa is, it's okay. Most of us don't know either.
Actually, we care.
Exactly. I'm gonna read one short one and I'll do one longer performance thing, okay? So this one's for my dad, just because you reminded me of that with Cipote. This one's called Star Trek, but without anything cool. I'm still trying to find my father's UFO. He told me once they wouldn't let him work for very long at places because he was an alien. I inspected my body for extra tentacles and checked my tongue to see if parts were purple. Nothing. I asked my doctor to look for an extra heartbeat, an extra corazon, and I tried to move Legos with my mind. Still nothing. It's still not working, oh my gosh. I wish. The remote control so far away sometimes. Either my father is a very lame alien or he must have been on another planet. It wasn't the same place where we live now. I think they called it California. Sometimes my dad goes to the annex, so I looked up there for his UFO. Still nothing. I don't know about those Californians, but what they call alien kind of just looks like my father. Thank you, that's the first piece. Okay, I'm gonna do another one that's a little bit longer, but it's been a long time since I've done it, so we're gonna really see if I remember it, so yeah, support! Woo! This one's called America de la Morsa. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. I walk into a coffee shop every morning and the nice lady behind the counter, the polite lady behind the counter, the white lady behind the counter be asking me, how are you doing today? I'll be telling her, I just be doing fine. I'm just trying to survive, but I take one good look at my skin and I realize I'm not really surviving like how my people have to survive or how my parents have to survive because I don't got a crasta de Rio Grande and transform myself into a worm and slide through tunnels. Coming out on the other side tired, as if it just rained on a cool spring day, like a worm, hand in hand with parents, grandparents, children, others who you do not know but simply wish to survive just like you. They ran, drove, swam, dug, crawled, and made damn sure to stay alive just to get a taste of the other side. But then these people who try so hard to survive, they're found. And they're forced to trade their linked fingers for linked chains, their mother's warmth for foil blankets, father's strength to take care of another child who's not theirs, but simply came to this country just like you. Brother and sisters taken to different cage, camp, or city. Mamá y papá, si Dios solo hemos visto, si hacemos esto juntos. We only survive this if we do this together. Juntos, together, juntos, together. But you're alone now. Crying child in arms, wanting milk from your prepubescent breast. Guards walking by, talking the language the free speak. Chain link vision, cracked mud hugging your thighs, face dry and skinny, foil wrapped around the child, for they only gave you one, cause this is America. This is why you swam, why you ran, why you dug, why you crawled, why you tried not to die. This is America. The place, the land of the free, the land of opportunity, the land of endless wealth and apparent greater community. This is America, the place where Your tios sent money from green that turned into the Howard Coyote that led you to the Serpent's Tunnel. This is America, the place where the cartel won't sell you as a prostitute. The place where the mad-ass power wanes, the place where the drug kings filter rain, the place that you do not know, the place that is not your home, and they make damn sure that you know it too. Este is America. Behind caged eyes, you realize that este, sí es America. From sea to shining sea. Gracias.
Oh, wow. Okay. ¿Seguimos? Are you ready? ¿Estáis preparados? No sé, igual ya no queremos más poesía. Vámonos a casa. Vámonos a casa de Netflix. No, pues Netflix. No, no.
El que no está preparado para todo, no está preparado para nada.
¡Eso! ¡Sigamos entonces! ¡Tenemos el mar! ¡El Lleva Festival! ¡Aquí! Ok. Ay, Dios, estoy como una moto. Entonces, vamos a seguir, ya que queréis. Vamos a seguir. Un fuerte aplauso para ella. Es Luisa Atarasajos.
No big introductions, just words.
Okay.
I am rain in thirsty soil, reaching for tender seeds in furrows of oblivion and sorrow. I find a new home. With hands of Rio and sea, I lift with grains of sand. They easily slip from my fingers, but waves will drag them far. Suddenly, there's a windstorm. It stirs all hidden memories. The paths I no longer find. The faces I no longer see. I continue my endless journey. I find other tender seeds. The dry witherlands offer me a brand new home. En español, yo soy lluvia en tierra seca que llega a semillas tiernas. En surcos de olvido y pena encuentro un nuevo hogar. Con manos de río y mar recojo granos de arena que huyen sin poder evadir las olas que arrastran lejos. De pronto hay un ventarrón que sopla memorias vivas, caminos que ya no encuentro, los rostros que ya no veo. Continúo por otros rumbos y veo semillas tiernas. La tierra seca y marchita me ofrece un nuevo hogar. This one. just have in English. It's called The Other. We watched the news with foreign eyes, failing to grasp bitter, deep sorrows. Different people, violent conflicts. We hear the news, feel no connection. When buildings crumble under the chaos caused by a throne, when human flesh flies into pieces among the piles of stones and rubble, we watch in silence, steering clear of all deep questions. A ghostly woman stares in pain, failing to find a dear brother, a father, a sister, maybe a toddler. We're so detached to sense her grief. We hear the case of blameless victims, once apprehended because of race, maybe religion, tortured in jail only to find that they were innocent. Too rough to handle, we turned the channel. This one needs a little introduction. I'm from Peru, from a town called Arequipa. And a lot of people have not heard. It's supposed to be the second city in Peru, and the people from Peru are called Arequipeños. And this one is in Spanish. Tú que hablas el lenguaje de Neruda, tú que entiendes de soledad, dime lo que debo hacer. Ayúdame a expresar lo que quiero decir. Nos toca vivir tiempos extranjeros, con experiencias antiguas, con resultados modernos que no puedo expresar. Pintor del pueblo arequipeño, pintor del pueblo viejo, artista que has visto el mundo. ¿Conoces quién lo extraño? Píntame el rostro de antaño que yo nunca fotografié. Píntame ese pueblo que añoro y que ya no me reconoce.
Vamos un poco más de tiempo. Vamos un poco más de tiempo. Sí, vamos. Sí, vamos. Sí, claro.
This one is called Matthias, about a documentary I saw. Enough introduction. Born on the wrong side of the border, Matthias Garcia Zabaleta gambled his life across a hard Arizona desert in search for work to feed his family. After a long trek, on a wrong turn, overheated, confused, and delirious, Matthias thought he was back in Oaxaca. In his humble Zapotec village, tending his chili pepper farm. Surreal visions glare in the horizon. A chilly dream crumbled in the sand. The scorching sun blistered all his coats. Matthias plunged into delirium. A few more steps, reaching for born, I'm just jumping, born in the wrong side of NAFTA. Matthias died 40 yards short of the border.
Lisa Atlántico. Un buen aplauso, gracias Lisa, por estar aquí con nosotros. Ok, seguimos rápido con nuestro siguiente poeta que se llama Jesse Sugma. ¡Bravo, Valente! ¡Un aplauso para él!
Me gusta el español mucho, pero no puedo hacerlo en español.
This is an English, no the mic.
Yeah. I'll try. It's better because I only know like 3 words in Spanish. So. Okay. I got 2 pieces for you. The internet makes me itch for things that don't matter. The revolving more endlessly pours the lore of profits over intention, of surface over depth, of provocation over conversation. The internet makes me itch for scratches that didn't exist until it burrowed into my psyche and showed me that picking up my phone was the quickest way to not feel so alone. But alone with a phone is still alone. So maybe it's time to put it down and pick up something else. I don't know what something else is yet, but I'll send you a letter when I find out. Will you send me yours? Thank you. This next one is a short essay from my upcoming book. It's the first time I'm sharing anything from it. I'm a writer and an artist, so I'm always thinking about, I don't have kids yet, but when I do, when my child shares their art with me for the first time, how I'm going to react. This piece is called Her Wonder. Imagine your child running to you to share her latest work. Bursting with excitement, she runs with her arms outstretched, nearly tripping over her feet in the process. Daddy, look what I made. Clutched in her tiny hands is a crayon-starched piece of paper drenched in colorful scribbles. She hands it to you, beaming with pride, looking for your reaction. Her pride makes you proud. Her smile makes you smile. Wow, you say, taking in the gravity of this moment. And then you look at what she made. It's standard 5-year-old fare. The sun is a yellow splotch with an uneven smile. The house a hurried triangle. The people are stick figures with large circles for ears that make them all look like skinny raccoons. Sure, I guess it's developmentally appropriate for her age, where the closest approximation of technique is gripping the crayon with all 5 fingers. But being developmentally appropriate isn't enough. She's 5 years old now, and if she wants, she's approaching the end of kindergarten, and if she wants to make a splash in elementary school, she needs to get her shit together fast. In other words, it's uninspired. It lacks oomph. This will never get her into art school. Even the crayons should know better than to enable work of this pedigree. It lacks perspective, both ideologically and literally. You can't even see the side of the house. And for God's sake, Susie, the sun doesn't smile. It's more mysterious than that. We'll get to that. So she says, Daddy, do you like it? Of course, you know your daughter doesn't need a critique right now. She doesn't need a reminder that the sun doesn't smile, or a lecture on vanishing points. You know that. But standing here, with your daughter's drawing in your hands, you marvel at the depth to which you've internalized these critical voices, and how much you believe them, how much they've limited your life, and how much they've always lurked in the background, how much you've mistaken the reflex of internalized self-criticism for the truth of who you are as a human being. Yeah. And now, standing before your daughter, who made this drawing with the spirit of awe and wonder and ran to share her happiness with you, you realize how much you want to preserve and encourage the joy that she has in this moment. How much you want her to remember that it's art not only because of what she made, but because she made it. And so you say, I love it. I'm so glad you shared this with me. Thank you so much. You can follow my writing, Jesse.Sussman on Instagram. Thank you for sharing this with me. Thank you for sharing your voices tonight. Thank you.
Jesse Sussman! So beautiful poem. So beautiful. You're home here. So amazing night, ¿no? Joder, increíble, macho. Okay, our next poet is our friend, and we are happy that he's here. And oh, fuck, this is really a bridge overdose. Because here is Giovanni!
Hi everyone, my name is Giovanni, otro italiano.
Bello!
I will read, I will start with this one. I wrote this poem a few weeks ago for a friend of mine in Italy who is in pain right now, who is fighting to heal. And I turned to poetry asking questions, asking a sense, a meaning, and of course I couldn't find it. But I think that poetry can give us answers, but can at least help us asking the right questions, help us healing, help us understanding the process. This is called not honor, sed onus, which is a Latin phrase that means not honor, but weight, but something that is on your shoulders, a burden. Not honor, sed onus. Don't be sad, pain, dolor is another boy who leaves a word behind. Marble, marmor, spreading in the veins, prognosis undetectable. The heart fails to translate the next paragraph. Nerves and fibers rusting, a dictionary in your mouth, blooming this dry dream into tears, asking why, the wrong way to turn this page. I will share now two incredibly small poems that are about, it's a research I'm doing on all the sounds and voices that I encountered here in New York since I moved here 4 years ago, and how they merge with the voices and the sounds and the noise that I brought from Italy. This is called Bondage. I blow with the wind of what is left, of all the dust we drank. Give me again the last, to bite who we are. Handcuff me to your head. Con te non so mai in che lingua gemere. This is called An American Dream. White, a capital Y, y después. Here a zip is everything, so learn to roll your R's right now. DM me a nude emoji, don't be so selfie, shh. I know you'd be my typo. Please capitalize, and may every of your days end with OLOL. The last one is called Insomnia, a travelogue. It takes courage to go through life, to accept the inevitable spasm of the night, when you can't sleep and everyone else in the street is dancing barefoot on the coldest stone of the moon. Hours staring at the same sea dropping from the sink, a water which could be us, lost in the space between a mind and its eye. Sometime we are both on the other side where I had this dream. It was a normal day in New York City when you came, the bagel place and all its daily routine of people born and people dead. We had to circumnavigate Central Park to get to the other side of this bottomless day. I'm looking for my truest self, you said, taking another selfie on the downtown train, when we agreed that sexting at 5 a.m. is the easiest way to know each other's pain. But it's always a tale of people hurt and little things lost. You could have stayed tonight, played with my left pinky, while, in a dream, the pink vein of a plant colors all the oxygen. And for a moment I forget that you don't need to breathe when you're stuck in a dream. You don't need to breathe when you're stuck in a dream. And pink is the sky, the moon, the cat, the sofa where we last made love. You don't need to breathe when you're stuck in a dream. You prefer dark blue ocean kinds of night, the ones where shapes are lost to the eye, and being another body is the only way to make light. And I know you know the feeling of crying in a dream, the tearless pain, the voiceless scream. This is how trees remember and grow around their cortex as we do. Myriads of species populate your dreams. Sometimes we are both on the other side where I had this dream, a dry sleep giving birth to a wet morning. Oh, but now it's late, now it's too late, so late that morning birds begin to sing their latest hits. And the voice of my mother tongue is a sequel cry over a sinking ship. Eventually the sun raises another ocean between us. The apple falls and shows a wounded city all around, so I spell your name until it sounds awkward, like blood over the sidewalk on an April Monday, until I fell asleep and you, great emptiness of this queen-size bed, with me. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we continue with the breeze. Continuamos con el puente desde el otro lado del mundo, sobre el océano Atlántico, esa obra de ingeniería poética que estamos construyendo desde aquí y que llega hasta el centro de la ciudad y que ya estamos recorriendo y ahora llega, porque ella llega y llega, poderosa, llega hasta nosotros y viene a subirse al escenario del buque. Y ella ya ha estado aquí y me alegra que vuelva. I'm happy that you're back.
Y su nombre es...
¡Lupita Zar! ¡Zar!
Besarte en el ruido para matar el silencio. Puedo camuflarme de mí misma con mis propios pensamientos y pensarte y besarte de nuevo. La locura habla de mí. La niebla habla de mí mientras me desvanezco en su espesor y en mi piel. Solo basta rozarme para saber que grito, convulsa, el angustioso preguntarme quién soy y vuelvo a besarte. Mi cuerpo, lugar de resistencia, permanece intacta la necesidad de explorarlo, de exponerlo, de sacar a la luz este animal hambriento que me desgarra por dentro. Y bailo la noche en busca de estímulos que toquen a hurtadillas mi curiosidad insaciable y no consigo saciarla. Besarte en el ruido para matar el silencio, quedarme en el ruido, notando el silencio que no quiero tocar. Gracias.
Este poema está en la antología poética de Poetas y Países.
Money is paying books is well spent money. In vinyl is true, but we don't have vinyls. Bueno, Lupita, que viene desde Vigo, ha llegado esta semana y recuerdo, hablaba antes de ese puente, de esos poetas que vienen desde España, desde Europa, para mezclarse, para conocer también a los poetas de aquí, para influenciarnos, para futuras colaboraciones, para antologías como esta que hemos editado con todas estas acciones que llevamos años haciendo. Entonces hoy es el first day of the Kerouac Festival, pero mañana estaremos en el Instituto Cervantes, también a las 7, will be at the Cervantes Institute, y el sábado estaremos en la Hall Gallery, aquí al lado, en el Hall Happening, sitio mítico de Nueva York, en honor de la Big Generation. También nos encanta este sitio. Entonces, bueno, hoy estamos aquí compartiendo, haciendo comunidad, escuchándonos los unos a los otros, reconociéndonos los unos a los otros, ¿no? Cuando escuchamos a los demás y nos identificamos, quizás eso es lo más bonito de todo esto, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, hoy hacemos comunidad, Open Mic, las voces de todos. Mañana Instituto Cervantes, también os esperamos allí, sábado, en Hall Happening. Tenéis toda la información en nuestras redes, que por cierto estamos emitiendo desde Facebook. ¡Facebook! ¿Qué pasa, man? ¡Oye, Martíqueme! ¡Lo más se va a comprar! Y tranquilos, no nos pongamos nerviosos. Entonces, mañana uno de los poetas también que va a estar y que ha cruzado ese puente y que es un titán, está aquí con nosotros. Gracias, se llama ¡Luis Álvarez de Moscoso!
Okay, a traditional song of my country, Galicia, says, here on the top of my mountain, I'm going to give a whistle. I'm still who I was yesterday. I still haven't lost my spirit. I still haven't lost my spirit or the desire to sing. Here on the top of my mountain, you hear a wolf howling. A noite iluminouse con partículas de luz azul. Saía xa o último tren cara ao sul. Non houbo tempo nen para decer adeus. Os meus mellores versos eran sempre seus. O rei que retornou correndo por amor. As chaves abren séculos en Sefarad. Non hai mellor exemplo para este rimador. O vínculo que temos non se desfará. satélites con órbitas ao meu redor, os santos aos que canto andan canda min. Non penso perdoar esta maldita dor, non penso perdoar depois do que sufrín. Satélites con órbitas ao meu redor, os santos aos que canto andan canda min. Non penso perdoar esta maldita dor, non penso perdoar depois do que sufrín. Aquí no alto do cacho hei de dar un asubío, inda son quen era onte, inda non perdín o brío, inda non perdín o brío, nen a ganar de cantare. Aquí no alto do cacho houve son lobo ouveare.
You are a man or you are a slave. You are a woman or you are a slave. You are a man or you are a slave. Eres un hombre o eres un esclavo. Eres una mujer o eres una esclava. Eres un hombre o eres una esclava. Eres una mujer o eres una esclava. Si eres un hombre o una mujer y no una esclava, aulla. Hold with me.
Ha salido también de mi cabeza, era más chulo. En mi cabeza quedaba mejor el tema, ¿vale? Pero bueno, esto era para presentar el libro de nuestra próxima invitada, que estará mañana también en Cervantes y el sábado en Hall, precisamente presentando este libro, Hall, o veos en galego, aullidos, y por eso quería que todos aulláramos para recibirla. Ella es Fátima Delgado.
Voy a recitar en galego, continuando con esos ouveos, aullidos, howls, ¿ok? Y esto dice así. Clack, clack, clack. Clack, clack, clack. I need your help, ¿ok? Clack, clack, clack. I'm not wearing my heels. Clack, clack, clack. Clack, clack, clack. Baixo tantos movimentos metálicos, temidos e esperados, sínteste cobarde, igual cada ano que pasa. Outra vez ese frío metálico, o sorriso incómodo, tumbada, coas pernas moi abertas. Imagínaste nunha praia deserta e non na consulta do xinecólogo. Súbeste as bragas sentíndoche un chisco. Porca, por qué? E saes a rúa toda digna. E entón, cando volve o ruido de tacóns, clac, 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 percutindo no peito, clac, clac, clac. Volvo a poñerme o disfraz de mai, baixo o camisón dos peitos caídos, engúrrase o corpo. E ti prefires pechar os ollos. Es dos que aínda non imagina unha man que cheira lexivia. Baixo o camisón dos peitos caídos. Facemos gala dos nosos trucos. Clac, clac,
cando cambiamos cueiros sen que a merda nos salpique. Gracias. If you like it, you have the book. Tenéis el libro bilingüe en Galician and Spanish, okay? Oveos, aullidos, howls.
Ahora voy a llamar a los poetas al escenario para sacarnos la foto de tu corto después. Merci, merci to the stage, to the photo. Merci, espera. Los poetas, ok, the poets come to the stage, to the photo. Ok, Fátima Delgado, Álvarez, Lupita Zar, Giovanni, Jesse Sumans, Luisa Atanasajos, Patricia Martín Rivas, Sumaya Hernández, Clara Francesca y por supuesto Arelis Uribe y Mercy Tulis. Bucari, esto ha sido todo por hoy. 2 hours of poetry. Not bad, guys. ¡Viva la poesía! Okay, what people love?